Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Podcast Time. Hello, Tyler.
Hello there.
Long time no see.
Oh,
It's been a week.
It's been a hell of a week, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
And we're going to go into some of the details about why it's been a hell of a week, especially in the last few hours, but we're not going to talk about the main reason for me specifically on why it's been a hell of a week.
Yeah.
That's going to be saved for a long time down the road.
We'll save that for when Tyler uploads a video from his wedding.
Well, we'll hope. We'll hope.
All right.
That'll be a long. Anyway, I quickly want to mention I made history today. Well, it's not really history, but it's like a historic moment in my YouTube career.
Yeah.
Video coming about that soon. But if you've been watching our streams recently, well, not Minecraft, you can connect it. It was a very historic moment for me. I was very proud of myself watching the guy fall at the end, just slowly falling. It was beautiful. So I can say, wow, this is cool. I'm checking out Share Factory, right, by the way, while we're doing this, because I was going to make the thing myself, but I forgot to save the clip. Luckily it's a stream, so it will come up on my channel eventually, and then I'll have somebody edit it. Alright, well, we should probably get down to our topics.
Yeah, so we actually have quite a few topics, and this might be the craziest podcast we've ever done, topics-wise. And some of them are pretty dark, some of them are really, lighthearted, and some of them are just, little things that we've done that we want to talk about. So I think starting off, I should probably start with my scuba trip, because I promised I'd talk about it. Oh, God. So I went scuba diving last weekend, I guess, at this point. I'm not going to tell you where, because I had to sign in. And so if you really wanted to stalk me, you could probably find this place, find the list with my address on it. And, yeah, I don't want that happening. So I'm just going to talk about it. It was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in my entire life. Maybe the coolest. Right up there with, beating Fall Guys and fighting the Ender Dragon for the first time. One of the coolest for sure.
Scuba diving is so sound fun.
It's insane. It's insane. And it doesn't sound like it would be. It's like, oh, you're underwater. Oh, there's fish. Ooh. It's really, really dangerous. There's a lot of bad things that can happen. It's like being in space, basically, but underwater. It's pretty much the same concept. Like the gravity is stronger actually down there, and it can be really scary at times, especially when your oxygen's getting pretty low. But yeah, so we went into a quarry, which is basically just like an old mine. It was a limestone mine, I believe, and I don't even know where to start. It was so cool. Basically, I'm scuba certified, and I went to the scuba place, and we did scuba diving, and we hopped in the water. It was my first time actually scuba diving. Oh, well, I'm not technically certified. I'm pretty much there, though. I mean, I've done dives and stuff.
Pretty much certified at this point. All right.
Yeah. I don't have the official card yet, and I'll probably go scuba diving again, and then I'll get the card. But so we went in the water, and we went down 40 feet, 35, 40 feet, which doesn't sound like much, but in retrospect, it's a lot.
That's a pretty big amount, actually.
It's pretty deep, and the thing can go to 130 feet deep. Now, we weren't allowed to go that far down, because, we're not, legit 100% certified yet, so,
Safety reasons, yeah.
Right. But, oh Christ. It was still one of the coolest things I've ever done, regardless of that fact, even, because, the fish alone were impressive. They were bigger than any other fish I've ever seen in my entire life. you're not allowed to fish in this quarry for obvious reasons. There's scuba divers in it, and some of these fish were just absolutely massive. I've never seen bluegill bigger than this. Like, there were trout in there that were at least 3 foot long. They were insane. Like,
yeah, we get those around here too. Well, not like right around here, but like close to here.
Like, I've never ever seen fish that big unless it was at the ocean, and which is a whole different story. So you could actually, I guess I gotta explain this other part before I can talk about that. The other thing that was really cool about underneath there is they had planes and buses and vehicles and everything like that underneath the water. Just so much to do under there, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? You never know if you don't go. You never shine if you don't go. So
Hey, no.
You're an all-star. Anyway, so you can actually go on top of like a school bus, and you'll have fish food. And if you feed the fish, like, they'll swarm you, and they're aggressive too. They will swarm you though, and like, it is one of the coolest things I've ever seen / done. There's a lot of stuff down there. There's 2 big planes. I mean, you could see them in the video that I posted on my YouTube channel. That's my footage, by the way. I don't know why, but for Brian, it was hard to understand that I actually went scuba diving. So I assumed, well, Brian's a smart guy, so probably other people are thinking the same thing. It's just a shit post where he puts dragonfish over frickin' scuba divers. No, I was there. Now, there were a lot of people scuba diving with me. I only knew 2 of the people that were there, but like, there were there were a lot more than that. In like the video, there's just some random people that I don't even know in there as well. You actually don't really get to see me in the video. Like, obviously I'm not talking because I'm underwater, and like, it's a very complicated situation, and I didn't want to, like, die down there while I was trying to frickin' figure out a camera. And so I was just like, getting minimal shots, and half of them were actually terrible. Like, the video is a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be, because I had like all this other stuff I was going to put in there, and like, I just couldn't because the quality was so bad. And it took me a long time to like get that what I have in there to even be good enough. It took a lot of like screen recording and stuff. Like, it was nuts. Like, the whole editing situation for that was worse than anything I've ever had to do for anything else. And honestly, 100% worth going on that scuba trip. It was a weekend trip. We stayed in a hotel, and I definitely, if you're thinking about it and you're not sure if you want to do it or not, go do it. It's very cool. You will never forget what you see. And like, even the fear of not being able to see what's below you is insane. The adrenaline is insane. Like, I've done my fair share of high adventures. I've done a 100-mile canoe trip, which is a whole nother story for a whole nother time, whole nother podcast. Which actually, I'm surprised I haven't even talked about that on this podcast yet. But this was definitely one of my greatest adventures. Yeah, so scuba diving. It was cool. All right.
I would do want to go scuba diving at least once in my life.
It's a very tedious training thing. And if you go once, you're going more than once. Ooh. Like, there's no way that you can just go once and never go again. It's just way too cool.
I don't know. No. It's something I'd like to do, but it's not something that I'm dying to do.
You should probably turn up your microphone audio.
I'm talking quite quietly. Hold on. Hold on. Wait, how do you do that? Wait, I gotta go into microphone settings.
Yes.
You keep talking.
Okay, so we actually have a lot other topics to talk about, and speaking of like terrifying, we've got quite a few different things to talk about for that. And my one actually happened today, as of the recording of this podcast, and it was insane. So I have a job. I work at a pet store, and
How's that?
what? Who? What are you
Is
talking
that
about?
good?
Yeah, this is good.
Mic level.
This is
All
good.
right.
Yep. And
All right, there we
so, ooh, Christ. I work at a pet store, and today I
Yep.
went into work at like 3:30, and I walk in there. Everything's normal. Nothing seems too out of the ordinary. I walk into the back room, and one of the cashier girls is crying. And so I'm like, I wonder why she's crying. I wonder what happened. And I assumed it was like some relationship thing, and it was something personal, because her guy was there, like her boyfriend or her husband. I don't know. One of the two. I don't know. I don't pry into that sort of thing unless it's Tyler. So it just seemed normal to me, and I was like, all right, everything seems. I mean, obviously it's not. She's crying, and she seems really upset. So obviously, not everything's great, but it wasn't abnormal, like pretty normal breakup sort of thing. I thought. Yeah. So it turns out 10 minutes before I got there, some guy came in and robbed us at gunpoint. Like it has to have been one of the most terrifying, traumatizing events for this person ever. Like I can't imagine them ever going on with life without remembering this. This is something that they will never forget. So actually,
I can't imagine being robbed at gunpoint. Period. I can't imagine seeing a gun pointing at your face. Like, that's the end of your. That could be the end of your life, staring you.
Imagine everything that would have gone through your head during that. That would have been absolutely terrifying. I probably would have pooped my pants. I probably would have thrown up, and I probably would have said something cocky and gotten shot. Knowing me, I would have definitely talked when I shouldn't have talked. So when the cops arrived, she was telling them what happened, and this guy, he said, you have 20 seconds to give me everything that's in your register. He says, I have a gun, you have 20 seconds. And when he gets to 15, he pulled out the gun, apparently.
Oh, shit.
And when he got to 18, he cocked it.
Oh, shit.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? That is absolutely terrifying.
That is super terrifying. Oh my god.
Yeah, Christ.
I would have probably fainted.
Yeah, so she was crying a lot, and I can imagine why. That must have been so terrifying and traumatizing. And
oh yeah, for sure.
So the manager at the time, he was just in the office, and he was on the phone with the police while this was happening. They got there 5 minutes after I arrived, so they got there a good 15 minutes after it happened. And we had to close the store for like 2 hours, because just to do like fingerprints and stuff. And when I got there, I was showing shock when I found out what happened. And I was like, oh my god. First off, who the hell is robbing a pet store? Second,
exactly.
Oh my god. Why?
Like, imagine if you had got called into work early that day.
I know, right? Yesterday I was a cashier. Can you... Like, I would have been so freaked out. Like, I got there 10 minutes after it happened. 10 minutes. The cashier who was working was gonna work closed. She got there at 3 o'clock. She was only there for 20 minutes. And then she got robbed.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
The guy only took $400 as well.
Only took $400.
Yeah, that's to hold somebody at gunpoint for that? Why? Yeah, that's pretty terrifying. That's really terrifying. So that happened at work today. Overall, the rest of the day was pretty good, actually. But yeah.
Well, you didn't have to deal with people for 2 hours. I mean, that's not
right. It was still a truck day, though, so that kind of sucked. But at the same time, nothing could suck more than the cashier who had to deal with that. That's just awful. And I'm sorry if you're listening to this. I know you're subscribed. If you're listening to this podcast, I'm really sorry. Take some days off. Take some month off. Quit your job. I don't care, man. You're probably gonna need a lot of time.
If I were her, I'd quit.
Well, we don't even have working cameras or a panic button. We don't have working cameras or a panic button.
Working cameras. We have working cameras. We've called the cops pretty frequently. So But that's not because someone pulled a gun on us. It's because someone who's drugged up was hitting on one of the courtesy clerks, or
Yeah.
there was a parking lot or the parking lot fight, or other shit like that. Actually, the most violent thing the most dangerous thing I've ever come across was that parking lot. And I can get into that a little bit here, because I was thought for sure she was gonna try and run over, try and kill me and the other guy she was fighting with. But that won't go too deep into that because I've already talked about it on a video. Because we got other stuff to get to.
Yep.
Should we move on to my stuff now, or you got another thing?
Go ahead. Take it away.
So what should I do first? I guess I'll talk about an experience I want to say happened to me, which is, well, it was 2008, so it's 12 years ago. I went to the zoo, our local zoo, and, well, I got reminded of this story in zoology class the other day. He talked about a lion attack that had happened at our local zoo, and it's because the lion had jumped onto the fence railing to eat a peacock that was sitting there, because we have those that just roam around free. And I had flashbacks. I remembered being there. All I remember is one vivid memory. We were in kindergarten. He also mentioned that the lion had attacked a group of kindergartners, or at least lashed out at them or something. Nobody died. Nobody was even severely injured. But a kid that used to go to our school, I don't know if he goes to our school anymore, and Dion, I won't say his last name, but you know who I'm talking about.
I know who you talk about. I hate Dion.
He got his arm scratched, and the lion punctured glass and scratched his arm. So that's when they put more durable glass and fences all around the front of the lion enclosure. I remember when that happened. I remember seeing the broken glass that was there for quite a few months afterwards. And I remember everybody freaking out. So yeah, that was a fun field trip. I could do a whole podcast. Actually, I'll speak of another story about the zoo. It was actually when we were coming home from the zoo in 3rd grade. It was a field trip. It wasn't a field trip. It's called Zoo School. But we were all on the bus, and we get to a stoplight, and I see this guy in his car, and he is passed out. He had like 8 cases of Budweiser in the back of his car, and he was passed out drunk at this stoplight. And one of the teachers actually called the cops. It was hilarious. Hilarious. I don't know if I've ever told that story before. I probably didn't know. The school stories video.
I actually volunteered at that zoo, and so did you, but you didn't, I guess, due to the extent that I did. I guess.
You did more than I did.
And I actually got charged by a lion. And there was only like chain fence between me and them because I was behind the scenes helping and all that. It was a really cool experience. I've talked about it before. And I got charged by a lion. I turned my back and it charged at me and jumped on the fence. And that was pretty scary. I can't imagine, like, oh Christ. I can't imagine what it was like for you when that was happening in like kindergarten. I mean, wow.
I didn't actually see the incident take place. I only saw the aftermath. Like I was walking by and I saw what was going on. But I was there that day. I tried to find like news clips about it because I feel like that'd be pretty big news, at least for a day or two around here. But I couldn't find a single thing about it. So whether I just had a combining memories together or something, because I was only 5 at the time. I mean, like, I have a good memory, but that good, I don't know. But I'm gonna believe it happened because I believe myself. I believe my teacher.
Why do you believe that guy? I wouldn't believe that guy.
Well, he's a great teacher.
Yeah, he is.
Shout out to Mr. Hodges. He's a great teacher.
Mr. Hodges, yeah.
Legend. Blessed to have him in the class. But anyway, moving on. Wait, what were my other topics? Hold on.
One of them was bad drivers.
Bad drivers, so.
You've done a rant on your channel about this before.
Well, that was
something
more
about using the
people
sidewalk or something.
Sidewalk in the street. So anyway,
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody about this. I won't mention her name. I was talking to somebody about this because she goes to a different school than we do, and I was wondering, like, talking about like people walking on the wrong side of the hallway is a big issue. Because at our school, you'll get like 4 or 5 people that decide, oh, let's take up the whole hallway with our conversation, or let's walk on the wrong side of the hallway to completely block the flow of traffic, and let's make it their fault when we get run into. Or we'll just have some fat ass girls just standing around on their phones or just doing blunts or whatever, and then we try and get through them, and they're like, "Oh, what you doing? Why you can't go out?" I'm trying to get to class, okay? God, trying to get to my locker, which you're standing right in front of. God, I had the same locker. I didn't have the same locker, but I had 2 lockers, 2 separate years, 2 that were right next to each other. So I always had to deal with this crap, and I always had a bottom locker. It's a good thing about going online school. 3 years I had a bottom locker. I really wanted a top locker, but I never got one. I got a bottom locker. I don't know why. Killed my knees. Killed them. But, and I hated it. Girls would always just stand there, and I'd like go around them just to get to my locker. Anyway, she said that she just literally would just shove the people out of the way, which I think is a little confrontational, especially if you shove a big guy out of the way or somebody who could be halfway to heaven on drugs. But
Oh, shout out to Keegan.
So I've never done it. She has, though. And then we got to the topic about drivers, because you think walking in our school is bad. Okay, it's like literally just walking around, it's like a stampede, because there's like thousands of people in here walking in all in the same place. Well, they're talking about that. They're talking about driving. Okay, we have a big paved circle that goes around our school, and I don't know if all schools have this, probably not. But it's like a fucking NASCAR track going around there, because people like to come out of, literally like to turn out of the parking lot, literally floor it to go 50 miles an hour, and then for 5 inches, and then hit a speed bump, try and do a front flip over that. And it is literally so scary, because I'm a good driver. I would like to think I'm not the best driver, but I'm not the worst by any means. And people are literally flooring it out of these parking lots. There's speed bumps for a reason here. You're going to kill your suspension. And also, you're putting lots of people's lives in danger by literally flooring it and looking at your phone at the same time. Like, it kills me watching these people literally kill these cars. I get the cars are already like 11 years old, and they probably have already 100,000 miles on them or some shit. Like,
Yeah.
they could probably last a little bit longer if you took care of them. I don't know. That was basically the gist of our conversation. That was a fun conversation. Oh, what else did I have to talk about?
It's kind of weird though. I used to think that Brandon was a really reckless driver back, I don't know, a year, maybe 2 years ago, and I still think that he's like not the best driver, because we're still freaking teenagers and all that. And, how good can we really be? But he actually gave me a ride the other day, and I was like, damn, you're actually not as crazy as I remembered. I wonder...
You know what, we always walked home, and you'd see these people literally, we'd be walking on that street, across the street from the high school, with the speed bumps and stuff, where we take the shortcut, that street?
Yeah.
And you literally see people literally going like 40 miles an hour over these speed bumps.
Man, us walking home and us on that bus ride from school to home, that is the origin of podcast time. We had so many good conversations. I really wish that Sean was our third member. Like, if he was here, or like Simon, we've had some pretty good conversations all the time. We would never run out of topics. We would be super popular. Everybody would listen to the what is this? Podcast time. Everybody would listen to podcast time. Which
That's
is
not
an
the point.
awful name. But yeah, I remember walking home. We had a lot of good conversations.
That's not the point. The point is that we had many close calls with cars trying to run over us, because we'd have to walk in the gravel, and there's people flooring it next to us.
I used to walk to school at frickin' 6:30 in the morning, and it was pitch black, and I would cross the street, and I would be so nervous that I was gonna get hit by a car. But like, you know, I got
People
to
are
sophomore
better at it in
year.
the People are better at it in the mornings, I feel like, than
I
at
got
night,
I got
during
to
the afternoon.
sophomore year and I was like, hit me, like the Joker in the Dark Knight. I was just like, yeah, you come on, hit me. I have a test today. Come on. Ends my suffering. Yeah, I remember like the crazy people. There were a lot junior year for real though. Like I don't know what the
That's
heck
because I
was
gave
going
you a lot
on,
of
but
ride
there were
homes. I gave
crazy
you some
bunch of crazy people.
rides home, and a lot of people like to take the back way to get out of our school instead of the front way, because the front way is just a monstrosity of parents, buses, and God knows what else. So a lot of people like to take the back way out, including me. And you'd see a lot of people flooring it, and it get bad, especially when it was like cold outside and it was icy on the roads. And I'd see people with these cars that I know have little to no traction control, sliding everywhere and flooring it. They're like pedal to the metal on an ice rink right in front of me with a speed bump coming up and another car to their left. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
I,
nobody
for
was
one,
very
do
good at
not have that
driving.
problem. I mean, I find myself a pretty good driver. I'm not the best. I'm not very good in high-pressure traffic situations, especially getting out of our parking
No,
lot in the afternoon. That's why I like leaving early.
I can understand that though. High pressure driving situations
But
are awful.
once I'm out on the road, I'm pretty good. Parking lots I hate, but it's a completely different story. Moving on, I have one more topic, don't I? Or is that it?
You
I was
do.
I was looking at the wrong text conversation, looking for our podcast topics. So I couldn't find them. Like, where are they?
I'll pull them up real quick. I'll pull them up.
Nostalgia high. What is that?
Alright, that's one of my topics. We'll get to that later.
I think I'm done now. Unless I want to do my work grant, should I do that now or should I save
Yeah,
that?
we got plenty of time. You should do that.
All right. So I think it was Sunday night, or no, was it Monday? I think I recorded it Monday afternoon, Monday morning. I did Work Stories Part 4, recorded it. It went pretty good. I had lots to talk about. But man, do I wish I'd saved it for after I got home from work that Monday night. Because it just shows how lazy some of the people are. So bear in mind, I have not had a Saturday or a Sunday off in a good month, and I no signs of stopping. I work 2:30 to 10 tomorrow. I work 10 to 6:30 Sunday. The next Saturday I work 1:30 to 10. God forbid they give me the next Sunday too, like a 10 to 6:30 or 2:30 to 10 or 1:30 to 10. Like I can't get a day off to save my life. I might go off about that a little bit later, how it affects me outside of work as well, but
The podcast
You get there.
capabilities have shrunk so much. Oh, Christ.
So like, this was last Sunday. I'm recording this most recent past Sunday. I worked 10 to 6:30. I worked between the hours of noon and 3 p.m. I was the only courtesy clerk there, and we were out of carts. We were backed up halfway through the store in every single checkout lane. We have 6 of them. And this place was literally, in our bottle room was just backed up. So we ended up, Nick came, thank God, at 3. And for the next 2 hours, between 3 and 5, he and I were literally going out and pushing carts in for 2 hours straight. It was pretty hot up. It wasn't hot out. It was warm out that day. It was about mid-70s, I think. And we're required to wear pants past Labor Day, which is a stupid rule. Stupid-ass rule. Because it just recently started getting cold. Over almost a month and a half after Labor Day. But he and I were just training pushing carts, and we were drenched in sweat. We were breathing heavily. I could literally barely breathe at all. It was one point, there was like 2 separate managers had to come out and help us push carts in, and we could barely keep up with the demand. There were just people flowing into the store. It was absolutely insane. And so I'm exhausted. So I get there the next day. I work 6 to 10, which wasn't bad. I mean, 6 to 10 shifts are never that bad, or 4-hour shifts in themselves. And I get called back to do the worst job possible at our store. And there's a lot of bad jobs. Pushing carts in the heat or in the very cold, that's horrible. Having to bag a $400 order in paper bags, that's horrible. having to,
Oh,
having
that's
to
terrible.
having to clean a shit-filled bathroom, that's horrible. But the worst job we have is Oscar. What's Oscar, you may ask? Oscar is the code word our store has for garbage time. It's where all the departments, produce, the dairy, meat, I think even the bakery, I don't know, and the front end, bring all their trash to the back dumpster to be crunched down, and taken away for good. And guess what? It's raining. First of all, it's raining. So I did not want to go back there at all because the dumpster is outside. I do not want to go back out there in the rain. Second of all, it is the worst smell in the world. Okay, it's a mix of like rotten eggs, bad meat, bad cheese, decaying lettuce. There's even like motor oil in there somewhere. Like beers and like sludge and oils mixing together from the bottom room. It is god awful smell. It is. I nearly gagged wearing a mask. That's how bad it was. So the manager is supposed to. Whatever manager is on duty is supposed to be the one that helps each individual department put their trash into the dumpster. That's how it's supposed to go. One person from each department brings all the trash back, helps with the help of the manager, puts all the trash. They collect the carts that they put the trash bags in and take them back up to the front to be cleaned and shown off to the guests. Simple enough. No, we have one manager. His name's Joe, and he's the fucking laziest guy ever.
Yeah.
You know, instead of helping out with the trash like a great manager you are, you run off to go help. You run off to go talk to people in the dry, behind you. You stay dry. You don't want to get your muscle shirt wet, So guess who he calls? He calls me to go back there. So I do that. It's like 7 bags of garbage weighing about 50 pounds a bag, throwing in there. It is the most god-awful smell. I'm getting drenched in this like toxic sludge mixed with rainwater. Nobody's out there to help me. It's windy, it's getting cold. I'm freezing. I just want to go back inside. I finally finish all the trash. I go to the break room. I clean up in the bathroom. Then I go to the break room to sit down and dry off and take a breather. Not even 2 minutes go by. He calls me back there. Again. I'm like, I finished. I'm not going back there. So, one of our other top workers, his name's Gil, generously goes back there to finish for me. He comes back about 5 to 10 minutes later. I think he pushed all the carts back up to the front, which is something I actually forgot to do. And guess what? There was one bag of trash left that somebody had brought after I already was done. You're telling me, Joe, that you couldn't take that bag and just toss it in there real quick? Or have somebody else that was already standing there toss the bag in there? You're telling me you had to call me all the way back to do that? Oscar is not in our job requirement. Job description, not job requirement. Yet we do it anyways. Like, we don't have a specific department. This is all the department trash. They should take care of their own trash. They have people. Just take 2 minutes and throw your bag into the trash, or bags. You can leave the cart behind. You can go back and do whatever you need to do. You don't have to help with anything else. Just throw it back there. There's a manager back there for a reason. Not to call a courtesy clerk back to do his work for him. No. To do it yourself. Joe's literally the worst manager ever. If it was either one of the other managers, James or Ben, I wouldn't have been called back there. But Joe Joe kissed Chase's ass, and Chase left my third day. My third day. He left my third day, and Joe has just been a complete dick to everybody ever since. Except for a lot of the younger ladies in stocking, you know, he's trying to hit on. I'm like, what the fuck, Joe? Come on, half of them are already married. It's so annoying that you get people, and it's not even just the managers, it's our supervisors up front. I'll name a couple of them. Kira's one of them. Kira's probably the worst at this. She's not too much older than we are, and you know, when she's chill, she's a pretty cool person. She reminds me of another person that I won't go into, but she will tell people to do jobs that she doesn't know that we can't do, because she never actually had to experience any of that crap. She got to go straight to a supervisor position, and a supervisor position, it has its hard points. You know, it's just like, you gotta schedule everybody's hours. You gotta make sure they hit their breaks on time. You gotta help out up front. You gotta be running around. You gotta do stuff. But like, you don't have to do any trash. You don't have to push any carts. You don't have to go into the bathrooms. You don't have to do any of that crap. You get your own little luxury suite in the behind the front desk, all to yourself, to help schedule people's. You just schedule people that do weekends when they're available on the weekdays too. Elizabeth's another bad one. But she's not as bad. She's really nice. Denise is probably our best supervisor, because she's super nice, and she understands that we have, when we're busy and stuff. And she's really nice. I like her, but I don't know. I need a day off. I mean, I get days off, but I get them during the week when I have other crap to do. Right. I need a day off on the weekend, specifically Saturday or Sunday. You can work me 4 to 10, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. But if I get Friday, even Friday, you can work me that Friday too. But if I get Saturday and Sunday off, fine by me. I don't care. I don't care if I work during the week. It's less every day. I'd rather work 4 6-hour shifts than 2 8.5-hour shifts.
Yeah.
I would. It's so dumb that they said, oh, let's just work them on the weekends. And you know why? Because the other two good workers, Gil and Dick, reduced their hours. And so they're like, oh,
Dick.
let's look at this guy who's still got some availability. Let's do it. I'm going to be cutting my hours down very soon here. Earlier than I probably expected to. One, because I need to, because I got bowling coming up and everything. 2, because they're going to keep taking away my free time, and I'm going to go insane, and I'm going to quit the place, and then they're going to be pissed, and then, you know, the whole store's going to fall apart. So, do you want that to happen? No, I don't think so. They're just too lazy to train some of the other workers who don't want to do jack shit, and are getting paid exactly the same as I am. And it really is annoying just watching people do nothing and getting paid the same as me. It really is. You know, during power hour, in the rain or in the cold, like, what's today, Friday? Did I work yesterday? I worked yesterday. And I did power hour all by myself. It was like 44 degrees. It was windy. And all I had was a light jacket. I was freezing my ass off. The only other courtesy clerk working that night told me, she said, oh, I'm just going to take care of this real quick. I'll be out in 5 minutes to help you. She didn't come out to the last 10 minutes of the whole hour.
Yeah.
Because she was training somebody else, and they went to do God knows what in the back. And then they came out and didn't even do anything. They just pushed a couple rows in that I had already made, and then they smoked outside for a while, and then I went home. But it's just so annoying. It really is.
That I understand. So we're getting we're about, I don't know, 40 minutes in, I think. Yeah, so one of my topics, which Tyler knows very little about, is a nostalgia high. I'm not sure if it's a legit thing, but I feel like it almost has to be. More recently than ever before, I've been getting some serious hits on nostalgia. Like, I don't know why, I don't know what it is, but like, I freaking smelled a trash bag today, and I got like a hit of nostalgia. I got nostalgia related to my first time playing Minecraft, from smelling a trash bag. I don't know why.
I get hits of nostalgia when I watch old commercials or old sporting events or what is it? Music. Music's a big one. Or just late at night when I'm just laying in bed. I'll think back to when I was younger and no care in the world. But you continue. Oh, this is your topic, not mine.
So, and when I get these like hits of nostalgia, it almost feels like all my worries go away. Now sometimes it makes me sad and super depressed, but like I thought back to the first time I played Minecraft, and like it's a good memory. It's a really good memory. Like there's not very many games that I have that fond of a memory of playing for the first time. A couple others are Skyrim and Portal 2. The first time I beat the Portal 2 campaign was great. I loved that. I freaking listened to the end credit song for like 50 minutes after that. And another thing I want to talk about is that this always happens for me during Thanksgiving. Like, every time I find a new game, it's always during Thanksgiving. And I don't know why that is either.
Black Friday and Christmas. That's when all the new games come out.
Well, no, because like when I played Portal 2, it had been a while after it came out, and when I played Skyrim for the first time, it had been a while before or after it came out. And like, I don't know, I just have really good experiences with Thanksgiving, and that's part of the reason why it's my favorite holiday. The atmosphere of Thanksgiving is just so good, and basically, it's just like one big nostalgia high for me. But yeah, so I've just started calling it a nostalgia high because I don't really know what to call it, and that's the best explanation I have.
I get it. I completely get it. Yeah.
And like, for real though, I can't express how stressed I am nowadays. I got a stress headache or a stress migraine the other day.
Oh, I get them all the time. Maybe for different reasons than you. More personal, but I get them.
Yeah, I've never had one before, but the other day I had one, and I lost my shit at work recently too. I fucking started chucking 50-pound bags of dog food over people's heads. It was a terrifying event for anybody else involved other than me, because it was like I became some freaking ogre, and I was literally like yelling at the top of my lungs, going "Ah!" and throwing dog food bags. Get roar. Yeah. Don't get. I can't express how incredible some of the things are that have helped me with this stress. For instance, the streams, the Minecraft streams, those have really been helpful. Like,
they're very chill. I love the Minecraft streams.
They are super chill, and it gives me a chance to experience good times with other people as well. Like, I played Minecraft for the first time with LT the other day. Like, until that point, the only thing I had from LT is watching his comments appear on the side of my stream. And that's another thing that really helps with my stress. It's just like people watching my stream, people to talk to.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
And, you know, COVID does not make that easier, but streaming does. I can't really talk to any of my friends in person anymore. I haven't actually seen Tyler in frickin' years.
You just saw me with FaceTime before we started.
Yeah, but like in person? I haven't seen you since COVID.
Yeah, since our last day of school.
Right?
It was the last class. It was our last class before we were gone for good.
Yeah, I don't even have any classes for you. But I mean, we pretty much text each other every freaking day about, you know, wingman things and stuff like that. But, you know, podcast topics, video ideas. Did you see my video? I'm at 47 subscribers.
It's really like just you. It's just YouTube and YouTube stuff and other thing. But and then sometimes you just hit me up. And sometimes you just hit me up with like a random meme or something, like when I meet dinner or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Did you Wait, hold on. Did you see the one that I just sent you? No, I didn't send it to you yet. Hold on. I want you to read this out loud on the frickin' thing.
I don't know if I want to do that.
I sent it to you, okay.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, here it is. I've seen this
So
one.
good. It's so good.
What the hot crispy Kentucky
like-
fried fuck? With the distorted Colonel Sanders.
Yeah. It's so fucking funny. But yeah, so like another thing that's been helping. Oh wow, my voice just got fucking weird right then. Another thing that's been helping me with the stress is these nostalgia highs, and I've been getting them a lot recently for Minecraft, a lot recently for Yogscast, who I actually started watching them Twitch stream more recently, and I've been having a lot of good experiences from that. But the problem is, and I noticed this. The happier I am, the less focused I am at school. The more depressed I am, the more focused I am at school. Do you get that? I'm freaking stuck here. How do I...
I don't know. Every time during school year, I always, whenever I find something like inspirational, I get a nostalgia high, or I get really happy over a planned like hangout or like bowling or something. My mind will always shoot me at the fact that I have some schoolwork to do. I'm like, really? Come on.
Yeah,
This
I
brings
actually
down the mood.
have to... I have
'Cause I gotta
work that's due at midnight tonight, and it's 12 or 11:22 for 3 different classes, so I better go get that done eventually.
You better stay on the... Okay. Anyway. That's like really, like I have speech on Thursday. I've typed it out. I email my teachers. This was yesterday. I email them during the afternoon. I'm like, it's a little long. Can you look at it, please, and see where I can cut down? It's like, oh, how about you rehearse it and figure out where you can cut it down, and
Right.
we'll talk about it on Monday. Like, I have to rehearse it. I can't wait until Monday. I just look at it real quick, email me back, and then I'll fix it for the weekend. Like,
We could talk
then
for
we'll
another
talk.
freaking hour about what teachers think help is versus what help actually is. Like, I have that problem every
and
time.
I just have to rehearse it, and I don't want to do that because I don't have time. I did make it pretty personal though, so I don't really want to talk about it a bunch of times because it'll get me emotional and stuff, and I don't want to do that.
Wow,
just
Tyler
waiting it
emotional.
out.
The cold-hearted racist gets emotional.
I'm a big teddy bear, okay? God.
Doesn't deny the racist part.
I'm not. I mean, anybody who knows me knows I'm not
He
racist.
says, I mean...
It's a given that I'm not racist. I mean, come on. You want to talk about who thinks that what people think when okay, we can go on that all day, or I can give all the facts on why I'm not. But that's not what we're here for. What we're here for is the fact that I don't know where I was going with this, and
Oh, perfect. Absolutely perfect. One more thing before I head on out, and I noticed it today. I've spent a lot of my childhood and a lot of my years, disregarding compliments that people give me and stuff, and just assuming that they're, like, being jerks and bullying me and stuff, to the point where it's actually pretty hard for me to say thank you anymore. I'm getting better at it, but, like, when somebody does something for me, it's really, really hard for me sometimes to actually, like, be like, oh, they're doing something for me, I should say thank you. Like, because, most of the time when somebody does something for me, it's because they expect something in return. It's for a school project or something like that. And I've just had really bad people experiences. And I'm not really happy with everything that I've experienced in my childhood. And, the people that I've had to have experiences with also have been pretty terrible. I mean, there's some good ones now and again, like Brandon and Tyler and Dawson and Vincent and, everybody else like that. But I've had some terrible experiences with some terrible people, some of which have been in several of Tyler's videos. Jackson Irving. Yeah. He's a
wow.
Terrible person.
Let's
Not
not
a
gossip
fan.
about people. Let's not waste our remaining podcast time
Let's
gossiping
not
about
gossip
people.
about people. Lucas.
That was different. Okay, God. Okay, it was a public issue. Well, it wasn't really
Public
public.
issue, Jesus Christ.
He did make it. It was a public issue because he made it public by taking shit shots at me at social media.
The
So
most
I had to
embarrassing
shoot
part
back.
about that story isn't even from you. It's from my
was the
perspective,
fact
not
that you
knowing.
misinterpreted who it was.
I
the
I
longest
completely
time.
didn't know who you were talking about.
For the longest time, you thought it was somebody different, Lucas.
For like a
I'm like-
month. And then when you
like, oh,
when
damn.
you finally told me, I was like, wait, what? Oh shit. I've been sending the wrong death threats. No, I don't do that. I don't send death threats. Can you imagine if I did though? Like, he would have been so confused. Dude, you better fuck off. You're not better than Tyler or me or any of our friends. You will never be better. Just because you're smart, you don't know shit. I just think it's funny that I didn't freaking know which one we were talking about. Ugh. Anyway, before we end this podcast, I'd like to give a friendly reminder that as soon as we get closer to episode 10 of season 2, I will be going back and privating or unlisting a lot of the older podcast episodes, as well as some of my older videos, like the Batman series, that's gone. My PS4 Minecraft series, that's gone. I'm trying to clear everything out that, doesn't have very many views and isn't very good content in the first place. I don't know if you noticed, but I privated Arc Vulgaro the first night. Terrible video, 68 views. Most viewed video on my channel, but terrible. I don't want people to see that. I want people to have videos that are good. So just a heads up, if you're going to go watch those, do it now. I'll probably unlist most of the podcasts, so they'll be in the playlist probably still, but yeah, go watch them. Give me a like, give me a subscribe. Go subscribe to Pringleson as well. I know we said we were going to stop asking for that, but nah, I'm going to keep doing it.
I do need to do a small advertisement as well. We created a Discord. Brian created a Pringleson and Company Discord a while back. Actually, it was only a few days ago. Open to, which is just recently he finished, and he's opening it to all viewers of the channel. So, I don't know if you want to. We're starting to drop links in all my videos now. So if you want to go back to my most recent video at the time when you're watching this, it will most likely be already linked in the description, or I'm hoping to have it linked in my channel banner soon. But yeah, you can always check new uploads there, check just discussions and stuff. We got all the main people that have been on the channel before, except for you because you don't have Discord.
I will be getting Discord soon, very soon. So that's something that I will have. I will have my own Discord as well as I will be part of yours.
Yeah, you're gonna be in.
Speaking of which, though, I made my own subreddit r/Jeff of the Mellows. I posted a poll on there. First fan art, thank you, LT Dead Kittens. Join the subreddit. Come hang out. Post your stuff. I don't really, as long as it's not nudity and whatever, like porn and furry shit, I should be fine.
I mean, we won't immediately spy away from a pair of boobs, but we'll have to eventually get them away because even Reddit won't take that. Even Reddit won't take that.
Oh, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of deep, dark things on Reddit. Clearly.
Your subreddit specifically won't take that.
No. User Jeff the Mellows, give me a follow. We're both on Twitter, by the way. I made mine not too long ago to vote for Minecraft.
My Twitter's already in my banner if you want to look at it.
Mine is in my banner as well right now. Also, my Twitch channel is, but I'm probably never going back to there, so I might get rid of that. Yeah, so my Discord thing will appear in there probably pretty soon. Also, my Reddit link to my subreddit. So, anyway, sorry about the little bit of an ad there. Eventually, hopefully, I'll be making... or we'll have like merch ads at the end. What would a podcast time merch even look like? It would have to have a quote.
It wouldn't necessarily be podcast. I can't even talk. Podcast time merch, but I'd just be different merch from our channel.
Nah, we would definitely have a podcast time merch. I mean, come on. It would have like the quote "Polly want a Bud Light" on it or something like that, and then like podcast time, Polly want a Bud Light, and it'll have like your logo and my logo or something like that, or I don't know.
Or a drunk.
The Pringleson
drunk
guy
parrot.
wearing a wizard hat
Or a parrot drinking Buck Light.
and a pirate costume. Yeah.
R.
Oh, there's the timer. 55 minutes. Congratulations. So we should probably close out this
Reward
podcast.
yourself.
Yeah, like and subscribe, share our stuff. You know, we need the views, we need the subs. If we're getting merch, we're probably not going to make merch at fucking 150 subscribers like Mateo did. Because Jesus Christ, not sure I can handle that. Anyway, thanks for watching and listening to the podcast. I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye, Tyler.
Goodbye.
Bye.